Good evening, everybody. This is Corpus Christi Chronica with Political Talk, and today we're joined by City Councilwoman at large, Paulette Guajardo. Paulette, thank you for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Now, you're running for mayor. Why are you running for mayor today, and what was the deciding factor in running?
Well, I've been on council for 4 years as a city councilwoman at large, and this is something that has just evolved. I love our city, and I want to see it grow just like everyone else does. I feel that this is the right time. I think that we need stronger leadership to move us forward, and I believe and know that I can provide that. The other important thing to know is that I am ready to commit long term, not short term, long term. So I'm not going to take 2 years and then not run again, or move to a different position in a different entity, right, within the city. I'm here ready to commit for the long term, and I think I'm very well prepared for it.
Now, there's 8 other candidates running for mayor today, and why should we trust you over the other 8 candidates? What makes you different than them?
Well, first of all, I'm here for the people, always. I stand for the people, I speak on behalf of the people, and I do that citywide. So in 2016, I was voted in citywide. That said, I have a proven record of different things that I have done, in addition to my duty as a council member for a Tuesday council meeting. So I believe that you have to work and you have to show and prove to the people that what it is you are saying you are doing. And I've done that. I have a proven record, and I think that I have I've let that be shown over 4 years, and that as a mayor and the head of the municipal government, that I can really prove to everybody that we can really move this city forward and strengthen our leadership.
Good. Now, what is the heart or the essence of your campaign? Can you talk about that for a minute?
Sure. It's to build and recover our economy. It's to, strengthen our public safety, fix our streets, and very importantly, as you know, we have to redefine what our city's role is in public health, because that has changed so much due to the pandemic.
Now, if you were elected today, what are you going to do? What would you like to accomplish the first day?
Well, I think one of the most important things that we have to accomplish, and we have to embrace, is rebuilding the economy. So many small businesses have suffered and are suffering. We have to have a plan, and I am creating one, an economic development COVID-19 recovery plan that will do just that, and it will help in doing that. We have to have a plan moving forward. So rebuilding and recovering the economy is the first thing. And then, of course, creating jobs. First thing I would do is reach out to our governor and talk to him about how can we create more jobs in Corpus Christi.
Now, speaking about suffering, how did you spearhead the proposal to earmark funds for the students in CCISD and Flower Bluff ISD for students that don't have those Chromebooks that are much needed in online learning?
Yes, so that was my latest endeavor, and I'm very, very proud of that, because I have a sister who is a teacher in San Antonio, and so I stay very connected in what is happening, and I guess the life and role of a teacher, and I commend and admire our teachers more than anything, because they are the true, I guess, inspiration of any child. So I knew that there was going to be a digital divide, because not everyone can afford a Chromebook or a device. So I reached out to Superintendent Roland Hernandez, and I asked him, I said, what is your situation at CCISD? CCISD has 37,000 students in it, so it's the largest one. And he went on to let me know that there was a gap in funding, and I knew there would be. And as you know, the city is going to be able to receive up to $18 million in CARES Act money. And so I went to the city manager and I said, we need to have a meeting because we have got to help the children of Corpus Christi. And not only CCISD, I reached out to him. He was the first one anyway, because they're the largest school district. But we did reach out to the other school districts. As you mentioned, Flower Bluff, they were able to turn in their information in time for Tuesday's meeting, which is why they were listed. But we have Toloso, Midway, and I believe it's London, who are also assessing their situations. So we reached out to all of them. And whatever the assistance is that they need, we're going to also look to help them. Because this is very important that the city, we are the leader, we are the big city here. We need to take care of or join in partnership with our school districts.
Now, does that digital divide consist of Wi-Fi for students?
Yes, it did. It did. It was not only about the devices, but it was also about the children having a Wi-Fi spot in their homes. And so this, what happened, this vote that we took on Tuesday that was allocating about $715,000 to CCISD and $37,000 to Flower Bluff was, for CCISD, it's going to purchase 1,800 devices and 790 Wi-Fi spots. And then Flower Bluff, I can't remember those numbers, but they were going to have obviously some purchased as well.
Yeah, we covered the story where, you know, some children are actually sitting on a waiting list right now and have not gone to school online. It's been 2 weeks already since school started. Now, how did you, because this has never been done before, CCISD collaborating with the city of Corpus Christi, how did you come up with that idea? I mean, that's very innovative. We never seen a mayor or a city councilwoman or a city councilman, get involved with education, which is a very, big issue in Corpus Christi.
Yeah.
How did you do this?
Well, no, it was, I strongly believe, I've always said this in my 4 years that I've been serving the people of Corpus Christi, that partnerships are everything. Everything. You can do so much more when you partner together, and it works. It's a two-way street. And so it wasn't, I just knew that what you just said was true because I'd heard that as well and seen that story, and decided I have to do something. I have to find out what we can do to help them. I mean, that's honestly the bottom line, because it's our children, and it isn't fair. It isn't fair that we have children who can afford to go buy their own laptop, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that, but it isn't fair if we have children who don't get to go to school because of something they don't have control over. So that's where, as a city leader, we have to care about that. You have to have a passion for people. If there's no passion for people, we're dead. We're a dead city. So that means a lot to me, and children are everything. They're the future.
Now, there was another improvement project that you guys pushed, which was La Bola Creek. What is that? What is La Bola Creek improvement project?
So La Bola Creek is on the west side, and it is a project that the city of Corpus Christi, specifically Yvette Lara Dodd, she has been working on this particular project for over 3 years. And when I say she's been working on this project, what I mean is she has been working with the state and federal governments to acquire over $8 million in grant money for our city so that we can address this issue. So there is an enormous amount of flooding in that area that affects thousands of homeowners that live in that area, to the tune of 3,000. And what happens there, one of the reasons that's important, number one, it's a public safety issue, but the other reason is all of these homeowners pay insurance for their homes, and they're in a flood zone because of the low elevation of their homes, and so their insurance rates are their flood insurance rates are extremely expensive. And like I said, the water gets into their homes. I mean, it's a very, very bad situation, and has been for years. So this project is a huge win for Los Encinos, Molina, Los Robles, and I'm so sorry, I'm missing, I think, one more neighborhood.
Las Colonias?
Las Colonias, there you go, thank you. Las Colonias, so those 4 subdivisions are going to benefit greatly.
Now, speaking about infrastructure, you know, I know you've been a pro-police councilwoman on the council, and, you know, looking at the general fund, police officers get, you know, at least half of the general fund every year. How are we gonna continue fixing our streets, you know, investing into children and doing much more that you want to do and moving the city forward? How are we gonna grow that pie? Or how are you gonna grow the pie and make sure that we still take care of our police officers and
Right.
our firefighters?
Well, police and fire are first and foremost because they're who protect us. They're who we call, you know, in case of an emergency or emergencies. So we have to stay focused on our police and fire personnel. We've not done that in years past, which is one of the things that I have always been very keen on. When I got on council in 2016, our police force had not grown in over 20 years. We had more police officers 20 years ago, 24 years ago now, than we do now, or then in 2016.
Right.
Since then we've added 8 police officers, but that's not near enough, not to protect a city of the population that we have. So we have to stay, you know, it's a balancing act. How do you do all of it? The first way we do it is you've got to have strong leadership, and in our departments we are now doing that by way of Peter Zanoni. So I'm sure you know he has been making lots of changes throughout the organization, and the directors of our departments are. It's just been like streets. It's a new day. It is truly a new day, and they're finding ways, because they come from other cities, larger cities, to make the things we need happen. So our streets, which are now maintained in a different way than they were, are gonna last way longer than before. I'm working with him, with Richard Martinez, which is our streets operations director, in regards to a sidewalk program. Sidewalks are the responsibility of the homeowner. No one is who's gonna put thousands of dollars into their sidewalk? That needs to be something that the city partners, either partners with, or somehow we can find funding for. But sidewalks are very important, because some people have great sidewalks, but I've been over off of Tarleton. You can't walk 5 steps, and that isn't fair for elderly people to not be able to walk down the street. And so that's very important to me, sidewalks. But either way, the way you do it is you got to balance it all, and you have to have strong leadership in every department. We've got to prioritize the dollars the right way. Now, it doesn't mean it's going to happen in 1 year or overnight, but it does mean that putting the time into how those departments are run, not by way of direct communication or direct leadership with the department, but direct leadership with Peter Zanoni, to say this is the direction we need to go in. So as a council, you do that, but as the mayor, you have even more emphasis, because you are the head of the council. And so that's why it's very important that you have someone at the helm who is ready to lead and get things done and move all those things forward.
This past Tuesday, you, Rudy Garza, and Gil Hernandez all voted against a loan from the city of Corpus Christi to give to a desalination plant that they're trying to construct. And can you elaborate what's going on there? It's very unclear of what's actually happening behind the scenes.
Sure.
And getting a desalination plant. Is there really a problem with our water system that we have to go into?
Well, what the goal is to provide an uninterruptible source of water, not only for the people of Corpus Christi, but for industry, because industry, they come here and they provide thousands of jobs and a huge impact to the economy. And we don't ever want you and me to run out of water because of a drought. We've had droughts before. So this conversation apparently has been going on since 2014. And when I say apparently, I mean there have been different stages. People, the group getting together and discussing what are the options, right? It's like anything else. If you're going to go buy a house, you go look to see what your options are, right? You may look at 5 different houses in the right purchase price, area that you can afford, but you're looking at 5 different ones, and all 5 of them have different prices, right? So this group looked at different options. How can we provide the city of Corpus Christi and its customers, because we are the leader in water. We provide water to thousands, right? We're the regional water provider. What can we do so that we know we secure our water for the future and we'll never run out? Well, we have an ocean, right? So we pull the salt out of the ocean, and we treat that water, and you've got potable water. We can use it to drink. They can use it for their industrial purposes, and that works. There were other options that were looked at. One of the problems we had, specifically speaking, Councilman Hernandez, was that there were no prices or costs associated with those other options. The only one we got was the one for desalination. Well, how do you decide on a house? You have 5 homes to choose from. If you only have the price for one of the houses and not the other 4, that's not okay. These are your tax dollars. So you have to do your due diligence. You have to go do that homework, not you, the city, or whoever did the research, and then bring that back to us. My problem was also that all of these things, there's many different things that affect your and my utility bill. Solid waste department, wastewater department, of course, this desalination plant, or whatever it is we did to provide an uninterruptible source of water, would all affect the utility bill. So we did not have all the pieces to answer that question. How will the utility bill be impacted comprehensively? We didn't have that. I am not going to go spend your tax dollars and not be able to look at you and say, this is why your bill's going up, and have a comprehensive list. How can I go to you and say, well, it's going up because of A, B, and C, but I'm not sure about D and E? You're going to say to me, then how could you vote on something that you didn't even know? That's why I voted no. This is not about, for me, it was not about desal. It is about the ratepayer. We are in the seats we are in because you voted us there to protect and guard that tax dollar and spend it wisely.
Now, it was a 6-3 vote.
Yes.
Now, in order to get things done on the council, you have to work with others. And
Sure.
do you think you can work with newcomers? Because I know there's 2 seats that are going to be up for the at-large. Are you looking at, how the horseshoe's going to change,
Yeah.
and the dynamics of the politics
Yeah.
within the city council are going to change? I mean, it's not like, let's just say if you do win, Joe McComb's not going to be there anymore. Everything's going to change.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
what agenda are we looking at? How are you going to work with the rest of us?
Oh, I think it's going to be wonderful, regardless of who gets replaced or who comes back. You always, I think, as council members, everyone has to have an open mind, and you have to start over. It's like a new season in baseball. You start a new season, and you embrace the team that you have. So no, I think I don't see that being a problem at all.
Now, there's been a lot of talk about streets, and we see a lot of orange barrels around the city of Corpus
Yeah.
Christi. Do you feel like we're doing a great job with the way we're moving with the streets, or do we need more improvements?
No, we need more improvements. A lot of what you're seeing is a lot of catch up from older bonds, which is unacceptable in the sense that we need to be working on our bonds as we're passing them and not be doing 2012 bond, projects from a 2012 or 2014 or 2016 bond. But again, those are, as people like to say, sins of the past. You're handed what the situation is, and we just have to work our best through it. Again, back to Richard Martinez, he is our newest, or one of the newest directors of streets and operations, and he's doing an amazing job. But he's only been there, I would say, 6 months or so. I mean, under a year. So, we're gonna take what we have and we are going to improve it. So we're doing a good job. We're absolutely doing a better job and a good job. But we can continue to improve it. And I think that the city of Corpus Christi, the citizens of the city of Corpus Christi are really going to see the changes in the leadership that Peter has brought, probably here within the next 6 months, as they are finishing up that work that they were handed coming in and just starting new processes and new ways to work better.
Now, the role of the mayor is to be the face of the city of Corpus Christi. We've been seeing Peter Zanoni being the face of Corpus Christi recently.
Yeah.
We haven't seen too much of Joe McComb come into the media. Will that change with you?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Can you elaborate a little bit how you would change that?
Well, I can tell you that I believe that if you are the mayor of a city, you are the head of a municipality, which means the people deserve to see you. The people deserve to hear from you. Now, you can absolutely utilize your city manager because the people also deserve to hear and see from him. But as the head of a city, literally the definition of a mayor, you have an obligation to look at the people, speak to them. You work for them. So as mayor, you will see a whole lot of me.
Okay. Now, just to wrap up our discussion, is there anything that you would like to tell the voters out there that are watching today?
I just want to tell them that I hope that they can believe in me, that I have a proven record, that I'm here for the people, and that I work very hard. I choose to work full-time. I am the only full-time council member, and as mayor, I will be full-time. And I think that's extremely important because we have $1 billion budget. You cannot have someone working part-time and trying to take our city forward with the $1 billion budget. This has to be a full-time job. I don't know. I don't know how people feel about that, but I think when you think about that, you assume that we have a full-time mayor, and we do not. We have a part-time mayor. I will be your full-time mayor, and I will be voted in by the people, for the people, and I will never, ever steer from that.
Paulette Guajardo, thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you.
Good luck.
Thank you so much.